If you told me a father-daughter dance would end with flashing police lights, handcuffs, and our HOA president going viral for all the wrong reasons, I probably would have laughed in your face. Or maybe just moved out right then and there, you know what I mean? But hey, that's life in Oakwood Estates, where nothing's ever really quiet. Not with Karen Whitfield patrolling the sidewalks like she's the sheriff, mayor, and Supreme Court justice all rolled into one. I swear, sometimes I think our HOA's got more rules in the state of Texas. But that afternoon, all I cared about was making my little girl smile, not neighborhood politics. It was one of those Saturdays you wish you could bottle up for a rainy day. The sky was this wide, open blue. Sunshine dripped through the leaves. Birds were chirping so loud you could almost believe the world was a kind place. And there I was, just a regular dad. Brad Jackson. If you ever find yourself in Oakwood, try not to embarrass himself in front of his 6-year-old daughter, Lily. She'd been practicing for her school's big father-daughter dance all week, spinning around the living room, tripping over her own feet, asking me about 20 times if I'd promise not to step on her toes, like I'm not the one who's terrified of looking like a fool out there. I'd promised her we'd have a practice round, just the two of us, right in the driveway. So Lily comes bursting out the front door in this sparkly purple dress, the kind that makes her feel like royalty, with her plastic tiara all crooked and her socks bunched up around her ankles. She sticks her hands on her hips, grins up at me, and says, "Ready for our dance, Daddy?" And in that moment, nothing else mattered. I did this ridiculous deep bow and said, "Your Majesty, I am at your service." That's when we started dancing, just shuffling in slow circles with her little feet on top of mine, and the speakers balanced on the hood of my truck played her favorite Disney song. Her laughter echoed down the street, and I swear for about 5 glorious minutes, it felt like life was actually simple again. Well, cue the villain music because here comes Karen Whitfield, clipboard clutched, so tight her knuckles turned white, striding down the sidewalk like she's got a warrant. If there's ever been a walking, talking HOA manual, it's her. Karen's been president for 6 long, soul-sucking years. She once fined my neighbor for a garden gnome, banned porch swings for being too whimsical, and made misses. Patel repainted her mailbox twice because the shade of gray was off. Last summer, she outlawed pink flower pots, said they clashed with the community's aesthetic harmony. And apparently, she just discovered her new mission for the week. Me and my daughter in our own damn driveway. She comes up so fast, I barely have time to pick Lily up off my shoes. "Excuse me, Mr. Jackson," she says, and I swear her voice could curdle milk. Section 8, Paragraph 4, Subsection C clearly states that driveways are for vehicle parking only. No recreational activities are permitted. I just stared at her. "Karen, we're dancing. That's it. There's no music blasting, no party, no noise." Her lips pinched together like she'd tasted something sour. Rules are rules. Cease this activity immediately. And in that instant, Lily's smile faded. "Daddy, are we in trouble?" she whispered, clutching my hand. Now, that would be the end of it in a sane world, but Oakwood Estates ain't exactly sane. Right then, my neighbor Tom, bless him, shouts from across the street, "Ignore her, Brad. That's adorable. Lily, you're a star." A couple more folks joined in, laughing, clapping, phones out recording the moment. Karen's face turned so red, you'd think she'd swallowed a firecracker. She starts waving her clipboard. "This is a violation," she shrieks, louder now. "If you don't stop, I'll issue a formal citation." I try to keep my cool. "Karen, there's no rule against a dad dancing with his daughter. It's not a crime." Her eyes went narrow as a snake. "We'll see about that," she hissed, and before I can blink, she's already dialing 911 on her phone, pacing up and down the sidewalk and talking loud enough for the entire block to hear, something about unauthorized public events and being threatened. I looked around, half expecting to wake up from some weird dream, but nope. My neighbors are recording, Lily's about to cry, and Karen's gone full authoritarian. About 10 minutes later, you can probably guess what happens next. 2 police cruisers roll up, lights flashing, but thankfully no sirens. Officer Rodriguez steps out first, and I actually recognize him from last year's barbecue fundraiser. Good guy, always smiles at the kids. He's got this look like he can't quite believe what he's seeing. A grown man in work boots, a little girl in a princess dress, and a Bluetooth speaker quietly playing Let It Go. Behind him, Officer Chun scans the street, probably wondering if he's about to break up a riot or a lemonade stand. "Afternoon, sir," Rodriguez says, looking from me to Lily to the crowd. "We got a call about a disturbance." Before I can answer, Karen swoops in like she's auditioning for a cop drama. "Officers, this man is blatantly violating HOA rules, hosting an unauthorized event, disturbing the peace with loud music, and when I tried to enforce regulations, he threatened me." Officer Rodriguez raises an eyebrow, and honestly, I think he's trying not to laugh. "You called 911 for a father-daughter dance." Karen squares her shoulders, voice getting shriller. "I call because the rules matter. If we let one person break them, what's next? Lawlessness. Chaos." Right about then, Mrs. Patel, my next-door neighbor, the sweetest woman alive, walks over, calm as a lake at dawn. "Officers," she says, "we've all been out here. There's no disturbance, just a dad and his daughter dancing. The only one causing a scene is her." She points right at Karen, who looks like she's been slapped with a wet noodle. Another neighbor holds up his phone. "Got the whole thing on video. She's making it up." Officer Rodriguez looks at his partner, sighs, and pulls Karen aside. Officer Chin comes over to me, all professional, asking for my side of the story. A few minutes pass, they review the phone videos, talk to the neighbors, and then bring everyone together on the sidewalk. "Miss Whitfield," Officer Chin says, voice measured, but you can tell he's had enough. "You've been told before. HOA disputes are civil matters, not emergencies. You falsely reported a public disturbance and claimed a threat that didn't happen. That's misuse of emergency services. It's a crime." Karen just stands there, mouth open, looking like her entire universe is crumbling. "You can't be serious. I sit on a board with Judge Sanders. You'll regret this." But Officer Rodriguez is already pulling out the handcuffs. "Ma'am, you're under arrest for filing a false police report and misusing emergency services." The look on Karen's face? Pure poetry. She starts shouting, threatening to sue everybody, vowing revenge, the whole 9 yards, but it's too late. The cops lead her to the cruiser, and that's when I realize my 6-year-old is gripping my legs so tight I can hardly stand. I picked Lily up and told her everything was going to be okay, and you know what? In that moment, I believed it. Because for once, the rules actually work for the little guy. For once, the bully got what she deserved. By the next morning, the whole thing was all over the local news. HOA president arrested after calling 911 on father-daughter dance. The video clips went viral. People all over town were sharing them, adding their own horror stories about Karen and her reign of terror. She got fined $1,500, had to do 40 hours of community service. I heard she spent most of it scrubbing graffiti off the park benches she used to police so religiously, and she was kicked out of her precious HOA throne that same night. Here's the twist nobody saw coming. The new president, Mr. Gonzalez, you'd barely notice the guy at a block party, actually knocked on my door that weekend. He came in person to apologize. We're writing a few of the rules," he said sheepishly. "Driveway dancing won't be a problem anymore." And get this. The next HOA newsletter had a picture of Lily and me, big headline, "Community Spirit. Father-daughter dance inspires change." Never thought I'd see the day. The following week, Lily and I finally made it to the real school dance. She squeezed my hand, looked up, and whispered, "Daddy, we don't have to hide when we dance anymore, right?" I just hugged her close. "Not ever again, sweetheart." And as we spun under those gymnasium lights, surrounded by other dads, moms, kids, no clipboards, no fines, I caught myself grinning like a fool, thinking about Karen, somewhere out there in her orange vest, maybe learning a thing or two about humility. So here's my question for you. When is enforcing the rules about keeping order, and when is it just plain bullying? Was Karen right to care so much? Or did she just finally get a taste of her own medicine? Let me know what you think. Drop your own HOA nightmare stories, or tell me where you draw the line between community and control. And hey, if you believe there's still some justice left in this crazy world, hit that like button, subscribe, and share your thoughts. Because out here in Oakwood Estates, every voice really does matter. even if you've got two left feet. 29.